Guys, I know we have a lot of topics to discuss about, but first, I want to tell you this. What is going on around Africa? Now, there are rumors that Ibrahim Traore was about to be killed or is dead, but there's something you need to know about that. Who is behind it and who is planning to take this African legend who has rose in popularity in the recent days or in the recent years after he took power in Burkina Faso in the year 2022 September. So Captain Ibrahim Traore took power in September 2022 after leading a coup that ousted interim president Paul Henry Sandogo. So there is a lot of things that are happening, and you can remember that after he took power, he chased away the French powers, where he claimed that long time they have been taking or they have been using Burkina Faso as their gold point, where they've been stealing gold from Burkina Faso and taking it to French. So there's a lot of politics happening at that point, and why Burkina Faso chose to interact with Russia or to do business with Russia. And the funny thing is, the other day Russia had a military parade, and they specifically sent a jet, their special jet, Putin's special jet, to go and pick Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso and take him to Russia, where he inspected the guard of honor. So a lot of things are happening around the world, and you don't want to miss. You really have to know that there's a lot of politics happening behind Ibrahim Traore's back, because apparently, listen to this, there have been more than, guess what, not one, not two, not three, but more than 20 coups just to try and oust this president who has made a name for himself, and he has become a household name not only in Africa but around the world. So this Burkina Faso leader, Ibrahim Traore, is only 38 years, but the thing that is amazing, that is doing, are just amazing. He has built roads. He has made sure that every leader in the country lives a simple life and does not waste the public resources. And many of the African people are wishing, like, I wish we had such a leader. I wish we elected such leaders, because most of the leaders in Africa, when they are elected, what they think about is going to power and taking or stealing from their country. And the worst thing is they steal and go and invest in other countries. So this leader, the Captain Ibrahim Traore, said, enough is enough. Now we need to follow the law, and we need to make sure that our people live well. Now, you can remember this. Ibrahim Traore follows the footsteps of a Pan-Africanist who also was a leader in Burkina Faso, the former revolutionary leader Thomas Sankara. Now, the recent developments are rumors of his death debunked recently on social media, where they claim, people have been claiming that, oh, Ibrahim Traore may be dead. But the guy has come out and said he is not dead, especially on TikTok, where there were spread false claims that Traore had died. However, credible sources confirm that he is alive and remains popular among Pan-Africanists. So when you speak about Pan-Africanists, are these people looking for change in Africa, people who just want to ensure that Africa is safe and there is nothing that is interfering in the African freedom or sovereignty, people who want Africa to solve their issues as Africanists. Now, you can look at this and say, the other day, Ibrahim Traore said, we had our issues in Africa, but guess what? We went and took the European powers, we went and took the American powers to come and solve our own issues right here in Africa. And he was wondering, now, if we can go and take European unions, we can take America to come and solve our issues. It was after Congo signed a minerals deal with the United States of America to ensure that it deals with the rebels who had taken over Goma. And Ibrahim said, now, what is the work of the AU at this point? Because we elect the AU to help us solve such issues in Africa. But apparently, the AU cannot solve these issues in Africa. So there are a lot of things behind this guy's setup and why people want him dead. Another thing that some superpowers in the world want him dead, and rumors came out that there's a guy who had been paid $40 million just to betray him. We really don't know what happened at that point, but the guy was trailed, and he was found to be meeting some two guys who were Europeans or Americans. We don't know what really happened at that point. But after the guy was found, it just showed Ibrahim Traore that these people are close to you, because he thought that the guy was his friend, but this guy came and betrayed him. So a lot of things just happening all around, guys, and you don't want to miss this, because, yeah. So after rumors came out that the guy is dead, only to realize that he was in Russia, strengthening ties with Russia in a significant diplomatic move. Now, guess what? As I had told you earlier, Russia sent a presidential jet to personally pick up Traore from Burkina Faso for a visit to Moscow. This gesture is seen as a sign of respect and growing alliance between Burkina Faso and Russia. And some rumors came out that even Russia sponsors his own security by using the Wagner group. So you can realize how this guy is a gem. This guy is someone that the Burkina Faso are singing each and every day. They want him to stay in power forever. Listen, they want Ibrahim Traore to stay in power forever. And he has motivated a lot of African youth who feel like now this is a new generation that needs such a leadership in their countries, because the guy has said, enough is enough. We are not going to borrow. We are going to do our own things by living on our own means. In fact, he opened up the first gold refinery in Burkina Faso, and there have been rumors that came out ago where they said in the French deal they could take 70% and leave 30% to Burkina Faso after mining and producing the Burkina Faso gold and taking it to French. So it was like they were using Burkina Faso as their scapegoat to get some revenue. So guys, there's a lot of things. I need you to know that we have a lot of things in Burkina Faso and behind Traore that are just happening, and this guy is killing it. He's escaping every trap. He's escaping everything that is being set before him to ensure that he doesn't live anymore, because he has become the people's savior, not only in Burkina Faso but in West Africa and in Africa as general, where he's motivating a lot of people to take up power and fight for what is supposed to be fought for, which is good for them. So digital cult and AI generated propaganda generated Traore's image, which has been widely circulating online, which portrayed him as someone who is dead. So this has been found out that this is just an AI generated image, and it's a deep fake anthem portraying him as a revolutionary figure. His supporters have used social media to amplify his anti-imperialist stance, often depicting him as a modern-day Sankara. So the funny thing is this: after Traore got into power, 2 years, the Burkina Faso guys were like, or the Burkina Faso citizens were like, we really don't win power. We need a citizen-driven power where we want to elect our own leaders. But then the guy had to give them a reason why they should just love him, and he's killing it every day. He's giving them the reason that every Burkina Faso guy now is like, this guy should just stay in power forever. We really don't want you to go anywhere. Now, the guy has growing popularity among African youth with his anti-imperialist rhetoric and pushing for sovereignty, making him a symbol of resistance among African youths and young people. Many see him as a leader who is challenging Western influence, particularly France, and advocating for economic independence. Now, Burkina Faso, long time, has been speaking French, because French was, apparently it was their colonizer, and again, it has been using the French euro to trade in Burkina Faso, which has been widely criticized because the French were unable to control how the economy of Burkina Faso will behave, because they were in charge of the currency. So they had lent Burkina Faso their currency so that they could use it to carry out activities in Burkina Faso. But now when you go against someone who is giving you all the favorism and all the materials and all the power, you really know that you're going to lose that war, because he has all the control, he has all the cards. He shall just tell you, okay, you're becoming rude to me, I'm gonna cut you out of this deal. So assassination attempts and AI generated songs following a recent assassination attempt, and the AI generated songs titled God Protect Burkina Faso have been running online. Now the God Protect Ibrahim Traore R. Kelly song went viral after R. Kelly praised Traore's leadership and his fight for Burkina Faso sovereignty. So a lot of people have come in support for him, even the Americans, even the Europeans. And when I say that some people want him dead, I do not mean that all the Americans and all the Europeans are bad people. In fact, they're very good people. But a few guys who cannot let Burkina Faso enjoy its own sovereignty, and they feel like we should be controlling this mineral-rich country, are the ones who have a problem with Burkina Faso. Most of you are good with it. Most of you even don't mind what is happening there. But until this guy was touched, this guy was pushed aside, and you guys came up and said, hey guys, listen, we love this guy. He's our African hero. He's a guy that we need him to be in power, because now he's showing us what we have really been missing on, or what we have really missed out on. So guys, economic and political reforms Traore has implemented, and they have been radical reforms, including taking control of gold mining and reducing foreign influence. His policies have reshaped Burkina Faso economy, with 70% of gold revenues now funding local development. Imagine having such a leader, using the local resources to develop your own country instead of going out there like most of the African countries do. They are always forced to rush out there and borrow loans, which they only come to waste. Someone goes and is given a 200 billion loan to come and develop his country. I mean, when you take a loan and use it for liabilities such as building things that will never even generate any money, and again you build things that do stall around, all you do is you employ a contractor, tomorrow you fire him claiming he has not done a good job, the contractor takes you to the courts, you pay him more to refinance his contract that you had signed with him because he felt like you interfered with his works, or you have cut him before the end of the contract, and you end paying him in billions. Now you're wasting those monies in paying contractors who really did nothing. I mean, that is how we waste our money in Africa anyway, or I don't know if it is a money laundering scheme that people just use. Now, in conclusion, I'm gonna tell you this. Ibrahim Traore continues to be a controversial yet influential figure in African politics. His anti-colonial stance, economic reforms, and strategic alliance have strengthened his position, but they also come with risks, including political isolation and security challenges. I mean, I think this is just something that has been said by some media houses with the grown establishment that feel like Traore is taking over power and is using it doing bad things that are leading to his political isolation. Now, if you don't love someone, then you get out of their friendship. They're like, oh, you are losing out on us. No, we are not losing out on you. We are, in fact, moving to a better location. We're going to a better place where we are valued and where we are accepted and where we are welcomed. Now, moving from France to Russia. In Russia, imagine they send their Putin's presidential jet to pick up Ibrahim Traore. Can you imagine that favor? Like, can you imagine how such a friend is? Instead of having a friend who only takes gold away from you, who wants to use you as their slaves, or who wants to use you as people who should be working for them full time. I mean, if there's anything with that, then you should just know this. I don't think if Traore is going anywhere, and I think the Burkina Faso people love him, and those fighting him should just be ready to embrace him, and they should know that this guy is there forever. The guy, imagine, walks with a pistol for his own security, a whole president working with a pistol with the military attires, and now he has these all guards around him because he doesn't trust anyone, and he feels like, no, if I walk alone, you guys are gonna remove me. Imagine having to deal with more than 20 coups. However much good you behave, now that is just a lesson. I want to give you this lesson. However much good you think you are, there is always your replace, baby. There is always your replace. However much you think that if I get out of this place, I'll never be replaced. Whether you are in a relationship, whether you are in a job, whether you are anywhere, just know, however much you pretend to be good, or however good you are, there is always your replace. And when your replace comes, they will forget you within a minute. They'll be like, whoa, in fact, you're performing better than the guy who was here last time. So guys, just know that. So Ibrahim Traore was almost being betrayed by his guy, the guy that he had trusted with his security. And it is by coincidence that Ibrahim Traore doesn't fall into these traps. They set up a jet for you and then you cancel the meeting. because these guys are just like, whoa, this guy needs to get out of our way, we need to take him out anyway. And yeah, guys, let's go to America, where Donald Trump is shaking out things. Donald Trump is really shaking out things, and the world is running crazy. China is running crazy, and I need you to know this. Now, the United States of America domestic policies under the Trump administration have had far-reaching impacts, which we have to discuss in this session. Now, what is happening around the world, around these tariffs and all the economic issues? Now, Scott Bessent was in the Milken Institute, where he gave his views about how the American deals with Russia, Ukraine, and how the tariffs are impacting different areas. But news has come out which says this. Now, several controversial and impactful policies, decisions, and events are unfolding in the United States. Now, the energy and environment, 15 states are suing the administration over an emergency order to fast-track oil and gas projects, citing concerns about environmental impact and the use of eminent domain. This is, and this is what? Oregon, as one of the states, is suing Trump for the drill baby drill narrative, which he used in the campaign, and it gave him a lot of votes, because Trump was like, we have all the oil, why should we go out there taking oil from other countries while we can drill baby drill? But apparently some states are not happy, especially the liberal states, the democratic states, which are like, no, we need to conserve the environment. We can't continue this way, because the environment matters more. And you can remember this, Trump has always pulled the United States of America out of the world environmental programs, and he's always like, yeah, this one is wasting money, this one is wasting money, I don't want this, let us get out of this, because we really need to get out of it. We're saving money. The Dodge stuff, USAID, all of them are like, there is a lot of money and fraud and waste happening right here, whether it is internally or externally. Now, externally is by countries manipulating our tariff system. We give them low tariffs and they steal from us. Imagine a country placing 100% to your goods. A country placing 100% and you have only placed 4% on their goods. Now, Trump got into the office and all these countries freaked out, especially after they were published by Trump, and he publicly said, look at these countries, they have been rippling our country, they have been gutting our country open, they enjoy our services, but they really don't offer back what we are giving them. So they had to pull back and said, whoa, big boss, listen, we are going to cooperate with you. We are going to make sure that you guys have good business relationship with us. We are going to make sure that your goods sell into our country, and our goods sell into your country at a fair price, and you're not going to manipulate the system, the tariffs, so that we can benefit more than what the American people benefit from. But now there's one bulldog that has said, listen, you put it at 100%, I'll put it at 125%. Now you go back and say you put it at 145%. Make sure the road that you're going, we don't reach at 200%. And I'm speaking about China. China is like, yo, we are not freezing out with what you're saying. We are not going to fall into a trap where you want us to come calling for you and behave like babies, and they're like, hey, Daddy Trump, please give us some time to speak to you, because, Trump and all his crew love publicity. You can view by how they handle their guests. Imagine a president coming to visit you and you are there. Trump's guys sit this side, the other guys sit the other side, talking, and cameras are there flashing. The Americans are hearing everything that you're discussing. You cannot hide, you cannot run, or you can run, but you cannot hide. And apparently there was also a picture of Donald Trump where he met with Zelensky in Rome. And people are speculating that maybe there was a deal for America to get the Ukraine minerals, and then America will support Ukraine in fighting Russia. Now, America said, instead of paying us more than the 300 billion that we have given you, just give us 100 billion back. And a lot of people claim that maybe those monies were used for the wrong purpose, because maybe there's some people in Ukraine allegedly who misused the money for their own personal gain. And Trump was mad about it. Even before he became the president, he was like, no, these people are eating our money, they're rippling our money, and we need to do something about it. We can't just let this to go. So, and yeah, the big boy also, Elon Musk, went back to Tesla, and the world is missing him anyway. We have not heard about it, about what he has to say in a minute. Like, days have passed, things are going by normal, and yeah, but Elon Musk said, yeah, guys, listen, I have some business to deal with the Tesla, so you guys do whatever you gotta do, but I will be around anytime you need me. But you know, when people say that, they really mean that I am very busy, and for me coming back, it is gonna be a very long time before I come back. Now, so what is happening? So Trump has claimed that China has reached back to him, and they've said we need to discuss these issues instead of raising tariffs. Now it is time we sit down and talk man to man. We need to face each other and say, okay, what do you want? What do I want? Because America claims that China companies are stealing the IP, intellectual property of American companies. Imagine an iPhone, and then you go to China, you get an iPhone, you get a phone with the same design as an iPhone, the same apps as an iPhone, only the name is different. So that is what we call by intellectual property, and the American companies have been complaining and saying, okay, listen, you guys are doing more than enough, you're stealing more than enough. But the Chinese came back and said, okay, if you think you can set tariffs on us, then there's something that we want to do against you. And the thing is, we are not going to put an intellectual property law in China. So you can make whatever anything you want that is from the United States of America, and China will not prosecute you, because we do not have a law that prosecutes you because you made something that looks similar to something that has been made in the United States of America. You can wake up and say, okay, today we want to make an iPhone in China, and we shall call it an iPhone. No one will report you, no one will take you to court, because the laws in China will have said that is not intellectual property, that is just someone coming up with their own idea, and they've formed what they feel like forming, and that is freaking out the American companies. They're like, whoa, listen, we don't want we don't want another version of Windows, we don't want another version of Google, we don't want another version of Nvidia, we don't want another version of iOS. Let us sit down and discuss all these issues. Now, different leaders such as Connie of Canada streamed to the White House to discuss some issues with Trump, and it was like, yeah, so people have started streaming in to discuss with Trump. So this makes Trump the leader, this makes Trump the G, my guy, you are guy, my guy, you are guy. So like, all the leaders are rushing to America. They're like, yo, guys, listen, we need to make a deal, like right now. We need to have our own deal with Trump. And yeah, I mean, how do you feel being Trump? How do you feel being Trump? That guy is enjoying the power. He has money, he has the power, and he's enjoying it. So you can't come back and tell him, okay, Trump, there's nothing gonna do, because the man knows how to handle bullies. He's the bully of the bullies, and I mean, that has made America great, and people are loving him. But even though news has come out that some factories are crashing out because they cannot really assess, or they cannot get access to things which are made in China, and most of them do work from having things that are made in China, selling on their counters. Companies such as Amazon, Walmart, I mean, most of these companies depend on China for them to operate, and they're like, yo, Donald Trump, we need to talk. We don't have enough goods in our shelves. We don't have enough things in our shelves. So like, we really need to talk. We really need to have China goods back. So whatever you guys are doing, please, can you do it quick, fast, so that we can know what are the tariffs, what are these, yeah, you know. And another impact that the tariffs has had is most of the companies in America have not set their yearly production predictions. What do I mean? Let's say a car makes 1 million cars, and it was planning to make 2 million cars the next year. Now it has pulled back, and it is like, yo, listen, for now we shall just make whatever we want to make, because you're not sure how long the tariffs are going to take effect, and whatever the goods we depend on come from a different country. So guys, you have to bear with us. And yeah, that is really what is happening around the world. So to conclude, I just want to say stay safe, take care, and bye bye.